Let's go.
Happy Tuesday. We back in the lab. Let's go. Josh Inglis, Derek Carty covers his best bets for today, leading things off with some bat releases, followed up with some Jon Metler home run plays, and then I'll be looking at fading some pitchers down the stretch. It's a hot board today. How are you, Mr. Carty?
I'm doing well. Coming off a big day yesterday. The board looks really good today, so I'm excited.
Let's go. Happy to see everybody there in the chat. Thanks for joining us here Tuesday morning. We'll be here all week, same time, 9:15. Producer Mick on the buttons. Let's get to things because, as always, these numbers are moving. And I really like today's pitching board. So we'll tell you the book, we'll tell you the game, we'll tell you the market, we'll tell you the player, we'll tell you the over-under. Let us know where it's moving. Let us know if you're seeing it at a better price at a different book, or just the book that you're getting into. So log into those accounts. Looks like a handful of plays here, and heavy on the pitchers and heavy on certain markets. And there's lots of stuff here I like. So let's see where we go. We're at Bally Bets first. Plus 115. So we're looking at a plus 120 price here. We're looking at plus 115 at 365 and then plus 110 at DK and Fanatics. We're going to the early game because that's what we do. And let's go. Charlie Morton. Over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 120. Charlie Morton, 5+ Ks today. Opener, starting pitcher of that doubleheader. Yes, you have that angle of you need to give us some outs, Charlie. They dug into the bullpen yesterday. It's going to be hot, hot, hot today. And Morton still has that velo, still has that crazy spin rate. He can miss bats. He gives up home runs, but he also misses some bats.
Yeah, he does. He got off to a really rough start this year. They sent him to the bullpen, and since he's been back, he's looked way better. In those first few starts, he had a stuff plus of 95, and in the one since he's been back, it's been 103. He looks kind of back to the Charlie Morton we've seen the last couple of years, which is a guy who can strike out like a batter per inning. Not ideal conditions today weather-wise, but like you said, it's the first game of a doubleheader. Generally, pitchers tend to go a little bit longer because they need to, conserve the bullpen for both games. So hopefully we get a little bit of extra leash for Charlie here. The bat's projecting 5.1. So we're getting like a 57-ish% winner at plus 120. So that is plenty good enough to hit.
No, it's a good point too. Looking at the schedule, the Orioles have no starter listed for the second game right now.
No, they don't. It might be like a bullpen kind of thing for them. So they really might want to try to get some out of Charlie here.
Yeah, people in the chat talking about it, this being the early game. Perez saying, I'm liking Baltimore game 1, then Blue Jays game 2. Straight fade on to be determined pitchers, as the Jays also don't have anybody listed in this spot. We're seeing totals of 10.5 in the first game and 10 in the second game. We saw that total yesterday climb up, and before you even checked into the fourth inning, I believe the over was being threatened. So that's where we are. Hall says, thanks for the Otani walks. Adamas props yesterday. No problem. No Joe today. Joe back on for tomorrow. But we move on. We got the Morton in at the number we wanted. And before we get there, is that 110 still good? That's probably going to be available.
Yeah, I'm okay with the 110.
There we go. Okay. Colorado, Cleveland. 365. DraftKings, 5 points off this number we're going to drop. Pitcher strikeouts. We'll go Logan Allen, Cleveland starter. Under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 130. Logan Allen, under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 130. Facing the Rockies, yes, that's always priced in, but obviously a different team on the road. I mean, are we still assuming that they're this bad of a team? I mean, it's what, game 110 at this point?
Yeah, I don't think they're terrible. I certainly never thought they were as bad as they were playing the first, month or two. And you look at the composition of their lineup now. This used to be the first couple months of the year, like far and away the most strikeout heavy lineup in baseball, like by a lot, especially once you consider that Coors deflate strikeouts, and away from Coors, they're going to strike out even more. You look at what the lineup's been like recently, though, and it's not that strikeout heavy. I don't even know if it's in the top 10 today. It's like borderline there. They have Tovar back. They have this dude Warming Bernabel who doesn't really strike out. They have Estrada back. Like this is a lineup it is different. It's not necessarily any better from like a run scoring standpoint than it was a couple months ago, but it is different in composition when it comes to strikeouts. And Logan Allen is not a strikeout guy anyway. So I will take the under here. I feel like if you're just relying on like team level stats, you're missing what this Colorado lineup actually is right now. The Bats projecting 4.45 here, so close to a coin flip. 130 looks good to me.
Logan Allen under 4.5 strikeouts. Got it. Got to be careful fading the Rockies. They don't want the record. Yeah, they're fighting for something, that's for sure. And I know that their money line has popped basically almost every day of where it is, especially when they're on the road right now.
Yeah, and it's finally starting to claw out of that hole from early in the season, because it just there was no way they were going to be that bad. But they've been pretty good lately.
Do they force walks over 1.5 walks plus 130 for Allen? That is a bet that I do have in my card.
Yeah, that one looks decent today. Not amazing, but that one looks decent, I think.
Yeah. What was my work on Allen here?
They are actually wow. They project as the lowest walk rate team on the slate today, but still showing some value to the over.
Yeah, Allen's over 2.5 walks from Nick Porto saying plus 500, but we'll wait to see how that goes. But we got the number in for the strikeouts. Let's keep rolling here with my favorite play of your releases. Dodgers, Reds, 365. Let's hope this number holds. 5 points off over at MGM Fanatics and Hard Rock. Pitcher outs. It's like you always got to go back to Nick Lodolo. He pitches well, and then he inflates his stuff, and then he always has just some spots where he can absolutely hit his unders. And I think that's today, under 17.5 outs. Even money. Great to still get that number. I think this can go way down the list in terms of where the buy price is, minus 125 maybe. Averaging 90 pitches per start. What did he just do in his last game? Went 9 innings, 107. So we have that angle. Pitcher coming off his season high. It's at home at Great American Ballpark. It's like 90 plus degrees. The Dodgers are in town. There's a lot to go on. And I mean, 9 innings from that to go to Dodgers at home at Great American Ballpark at 90 degrees is going to be a big change.
Yeah, basically everything you said. It's a big park upgrade for the Dodgers. They're an elite offense. It's super hot there. Lodolo's not a big leash guy to begin with and is coming off a long start. So this one looks good to me. The Bats projecting about 15.25 outs here. So this one looks good.
Would you be surprised if this swung to 16.5 today?
No, not at all.
Okay, so there's the interesting point. And I know between 17 and 16, if you're looking at minus 130, you might as well kind of wait for the 16.5 at even money. Because I don't think the 1 out is worth 30 points.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. If it's out the price, maybe wait for the 16.5. Maybe minus 125, certainly minus 120. We're seeing minus 125 at DraftKings. But yes, that prop has been falling quickly. As Derek said, not a long leash pitcher, averaging 90 pitches per start on the year, 105 in his last one. We keep rolling. 365. Let's get to the prop market now. Let's get to the walk prop market, which isn't available everywhere still on the unders. DraftKings, you'll have to wait a little later. Number still there. A big one. Seattle at Sacramento. Let's go. Logan Evans under 1.5 walks plus 150. It's a big number there. it's kind of a cluster walk over his last 3 starts where he's gone over, but his numbers before that aren't indicative of a guy paying plus 150, which is a giant number. He's very close to that 2.5. But I mean, he's somewhere in that walk per 3 innings guy, and he's only going to go 85 pitches or so.
Yeah, if you're game log hunting, you might be scared of this one, but there's no reason to game log hunt, especially walks. You miss so much context with walks. Like one of the games is against the Yankees. Like just don't do the game log thing. Logan Evans rather is he's not a great control guy, but he's not a bad one either. You know, he's fine. And he has a great pitch framing catcher, and he has a pitcher's umpire today. And like you said, he has a short leash. And he's facing this A's team that is not, you know, they're a little bit below average in terms of their walks. So this one looks good at plus 150.
Gifted Ruler, appreciate the repost of the stream, buddy. Milo asking 122. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Obviously, I don't like it as much. I'd be more comfortable at like plus 130, but plus 122 is probably okay.
And Darren Folks saying, is it new that Bet365 is now allowing pitcher outs in SGPs? Interesting to see how that works with the I know there was a really good combination of pitcher under strikeouts, pitcher over outs that you could sometimes get like 40-1 on guys on correlated plays, on negative correlated SGPs. So something I'll be looking at immediately after this, if I could ever get down at that book. Yeah, the pitcher's out for SGPs is a new one. Thank you, Jared King. And producer Mick saying, hit that like button if you haven't already. Not done yet. Another great play that I absolutely love today. Washington in a great spot versus Jason Alexander. We're at 365, 10 points off at DraftKings and Fanatics, which are probably buys as well. Let's go. Hits allowed market. And our 120 is still there. Mike Soroka under 4.5 hits allowed, plus 120. 1 second, Matt. I'll get to that once we talk about Mike Soroka here. One of the better hits per 9 pitchers that doesn't really kind of get a number for it, right? 64 hits allowed over 78 innings. That's great. And over his last 9 starts, 32 hits over 47 innings. And all of a sudden you're giving me plus 120 versus a Houston offense that isn't great, where your leash might not be very long. It could go 5. And Jason Alexander, I think, is headed for a bad start here if you're looking at which side. I believe the Nationals around plus 116 on the money line.
Yeah, facing this Houston offense that is just not very good anymore. They've dealt with injuries and guys leaving, and this is a well below average offense. Should be in a closed roof park today, which will make this one of the better pitching, quote unquote, weather spots of the day. And Soroka, he's been pretty good this year. He's been decent at least, and he's always been a guy who can suppress BABIP. We don't know exactly how real that is. This year, his BABIP's 273, which you look at and you're like, wow, that's too low. The bat's projecting 280 over the rest of the year. So it's not even like it's seeing a lot of regression coming for him. We're projecting 4.3 hits here. So a little bit under at plus money is, like a 60%er at plus 120 or plus 115. That sounds good to me.
Yes. And there's always that possible chance of Mike Soroka maybe getting traded at the deadline. Let's not push him.
Mid-game, trade him in the second inning. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's a valuable commodity, I think, to that organization right now in terms of assets and what they could bring back. Don't push him more than 5 innings. Let's go 78 pitches, clean 15 outs, and we'll take it. So really good morning when we did lose some stuff. You had Joe Boyle under 4.5 strikeouts today as well. You released that on your social. That number was moving. What was the number you released it on your social? 110?
I think we got the 115 on social at Hard Rock. But yeah, Joe Boyle hasn't made a start since July 6th. Hasn't thrown more than 39 pitches in over 2 weeks. They're moving him to the rotation now, but presumably he's going to have to get stretched out a little bit. Obviously, he's a guy with good stuff. The strikeout numbers haven't necessarily correlated with it yet, and the short leash is going to be there. I liked the Boyle under today. The Yankees can strike out, but they can also just destroy you and chase you from the game in the second inning.
Yes, another hot place to pitch in, and I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on Joe Boyle as a good MLB starter. His numbers in AAA this year actually quite elite. His strikeout rate looks like they have fixed something in Tampa Bay, and that just doesn't surprise you with the Tampa Bay managing staff. But to see that correlate, like you said, to the big leagues, haven't quite seen it yet. Hopefully it doesn't happen today, but on that 4.5. And then Milo says Boyle could also walk the ballpark, which is another possibility, especially in that lineup. I know Judge is not in that lineup, but still a tough lineup to navigate. Regardless, Derek, I appreciate the picks. Glad we got all our numbers in today. We'll see you back here tomorrow and Friday. More releases. And don't forget to follow Derek as he will drop more social plays if things open. I know there's not a lot of props available in the early game, so wait to see what happens with George Springer and that lineup. But appreciate it, pal. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, have a good one.
Boom. Full screen it. Let's go. Happy to get those. We got more plays coming. We got my pitching props coming up and some plays. But before we turn things over to my card, let's bring in Jon Metler. Glad you got some wins with the Tigers. It was looking ugly there, and I'll get right to it. Your team's was riding a wave of unsustainability, and I'm happy to see them crash back down to earth, Mr. Metler. I know you could say the exact same thing about the Jays, but trade deadline's coming. You guys already got Paddock, which is a good spot because the situation, Reese Olson didn't look like he had it. I don't know if you want to trust Reese Olson. Who else? Who's the other pitcher there?
Jackson Jobe?
No.
Right about injuries. Jack Flaherty.
No, the other one. Not Jack Flaherty, not Tariq Skubal, not Reese Olson.
Montero's an opener.
Yes, and Montero. No, but they're trying to stretch him out as a starter. Yeah, it's a little the Montero Reese Olson situation is a little worried. And Mize, right? So there's the 3-pack. So bringing in Paddock does bring in some sustainability with that. But it should be a long run now. Well, interesting to see what happens with Toronto, and George Springer took a ball in the head last night that was a little scary. I did see your post about Emmanuel Clase. 5 runs, spikes that pit. Like the other one from the other Cleveland pitcher was off the plate.
Yeah.
That ball was spiked 25 feet in a game where I don't even know why he was even in it. What are your thoughts on that? At the end of the day, we know that regulation gambling probably was a reason why we found that issue again. And they've uncovered more things within the same organization. So it could be something deeper. And we're starting to see that. What's your take on it?
Well, I did see something that there actually might be more Cleveland Guardians pitchers involved in this, and we just don't know the names yet. So we'll have to wait and see there. That's pretty crazy because now you're talking about multiple. Like Clase was people arguing for him for Cy Young last year behind Skubal. Like, why are you betting? I think maybe my main takeaway, like you said, regulation is the reason we're kind of catching these guys, because without the help of the books, you wouldn't even know players would be betting. I think maybe the takeaway would be that like micro betting, like first pitch, maybe that's too much. Like maybe we shouldn't offer that, because that's something they pinpointed where they feel like we can bet on this, throw a ball, and it really doesn't affect the outcome of the game in any way. Do you know what I mean? Like that might be that might be too much. Like that's too easy of a thing to manipulate. Where like if you're talking like a full money line, like nobody's betting on a full, they can't manipulate a full, I mean, they could if they really want to, but that'd be very, very obvious, right? So like things like that. But like a first pitch ball, maybe that's just a market that shouldn't be there in baseball. I don't know. That's what's kind of
I agree with you, right? Like first pitch velocity.
Yeah.
Things that are easily manipulated that really don't kind of hold any value towards the big three in terms of the side, the money line, the spread, and the total.
Well, even I guess if you were the players in your bank, like the first pitch velocity would make more sense to bet on, because you could just call slider instead of a fastball and throw a strike, right? Instead of ball or strike. You know what I mean? Like that.
Now you're giving them an idea. Now you're giving them ideas, Sean.
Hopefully the Cleveland Guardians aren't watching this film and they get any ideas here, but that would be one where you think as a player, it'd be very easily to manipulate. So like maybe those markets just shouldn't be available and stuff. But like even like a pitcher's out like 16.5, I mean, a player can't really impact that too much, right? There's a lot of factors, managers, all those things.
Like,
so
what are people thinking though? Like, I don't know what their limits are on that.
it's
Like, you'd
got to
hope
be
it's not
low.
just a $500 limit. Like, it probably can't be more than a $500 limit, depending on the account. But like, it's not worth it. It's going to be so flagged. It's like nothing account, nothing account, nothing account. Ninth inning, first pitch, one time, and all of a sudden you have a track record of not betting this at all, and then you're going like 5x probably on your normal bet size. It's going to be red flagged.
Oh, and you know for sure they probably went in and tried to bet a much higher amount, and then it went for review, right? They're probably like
Yeah,
10,000. It's like spinning. It's like, yeah, we need to review this, and it's like, oh, this account tried to bet 10,000 on a ball, so maybe we should
yeah.
look into this.
Maybe we should pay attention to this next pitch, and spiked it. And
25 feet short.
Yeah, no, I think that's a situation to obviously continue to monitor. And right at the deadline too. Imagine if you traded. Imagine if the Tigers got Clase and then they came up after. That would be an absolute
Yeah.
kick right in the groin. But let's get it. Speaking of kicks in the groin, maybe these 3 home run guys kick pitchers in the groin. I don't know. That's my segue for it. But it's a great day for home runs. It's going to be like 120 degrees. Absolutely on fire right now. Lots of games at 90 degrees without humidity and a ton of humidity in the Midwest to the East Coast. So let's see some 4-baggers here. Johnny, what do you got?
Yeah, yesterday you always talk about the next day theory. I had Jackson Holiday yesterday, and like everyone homered in Baltimore except for him. I don't have him on the card today, but he does feel like one of those guys that might homer the next day here. First one, I'm going to Elly De La Cruz. You're talking about the weather. It's great American ballpark. It's already a hitter's ballpark to begin with. It's going to be like over 90 degrees, sunny. The wind's blowing out to right field about 5 miles per hour, which is the pull side for Elly De La Cruz. He's going against Tyler Glass now, so that'd be righty. De La Cruz is a switch hitter, but his better side is the left-handed side. He has about a 900 OPS from that side. And you're looking at this, Tyler Glass now is a pretty good pitcher, right? Like I think we'd all agree he's a really good starting pitcher. But what really stood out here too is the BVP. He has 3 at-bats against Glass now. He has a walk, 2 hits, one of those being a home run. So in all 3 at-bats, he got on base, and one of them was a home run. That kind of pops. Elly De La Cruz, we just bet on him a couple days ago. He didn't get a home run. He had 4 hits. He's swinging a good bat right now. Plus 390 is like one of the shorter home run prices, but I thought this should be closer to plus 300. So I'm going to take De La Cruz there. Next one up, we are going with Matt Olson, another ballpark, Kauffman Stadium. It's going to be over 9 degrees as well. Winds blowing out to, I think, left center, about 5 miles per hour. Like you said, just a ton of good weather today for hitting home runs. Matt Olson, he's going against Seth Lugo. All 3 of my guys say it. It's not really a stat I kind of like value near the top when I'm looking at this, but what obviously it stands out in some cases, another strong like BVP guy here where you're looking at Seth Lugo and he has 6 at-bats in him, 3 hits, a walk, one of those being a home run. So like in 6 plate appearances, you've gone on base 4 times against him. That stands out. Seth Lugo, he's given up 17 home runs this year, 13 to left-handed batters. Matt Olson is a lefty. So this is about plus 430. I found this was at FanDuel. It was kind of rogue. Some spots were sitting about like plus 325, plus 350. That is where I think Olson should be trading. That's where I think the price should be. So I grabbed the plus 430 at FanDuel there. Last one, we're going with Taylor Ward, plus 500. Again, another kind of like rogue price. This was available. I got this at PointsBet, and that would be Fanatics in the States. There was DraftKings as well, had plus 500. I don't think BetMGM had opened this up yet. So there was about like kind of ranging from like plus 350 to plus 500. So make sure you do shop around for this one because you can find plus 500. He's going against Patrick Corbin. Angel Stadium, going to be, I think, just under 80 degrees, sunny, wind blowing out to center field about 9 miles per hour. He's running hot too. Last 15 games, I think he has over 1,100 OPS. He homered yesterday. Taylor Ward, he mashes left-handed pitching over 900 OPS on the year. He has, I think, 25 home runs on the year, 20 against right-handed pitchers, only 5 against lefties. So that doesn't necessarily stand out, but it's just because the at-bats are so low against left-handed pitchers. Like I said, his OPS is way higher against left-handed pitchers, and he's going against Patrick Corbin, and he's 6 for 13 his career against him with another home run. Not too often you see this much BVP standing out here. I thought this should be closer to about like plus 375. So at plus 500, I'm definitely taking Taylor Ward.
Boom. Good 3-pack. Good BV stuff. Matchup stuff. Win stuff. Hot stuff.
Yeah.
We got Hall of Fame game on Thursday, bud. I already have a bet in the account.
I saw that.
I know. Going the over. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Detroit puts up some points here. Like Hooker's, you're a Detroit guy. Hooker preseason, if they give him a leash, really excited, right? Can throw the ball, but the guy can run too. Like that Taysom Hill thing. Like if Taysom Hill ever plays in a preseason football game, he's the perfect guy for it. I mean, he's the perfect guy ever. And I think he's 35 now. But like your Lions, you got anything? Have you been leaning anything? Have you been looking at the game yet or no?
Well, I'm actually a Vikings fan, but I do live near Detroit, so I am.
Yes, I'm so dumb. Yes, yeah.
But I obviously am very familiar with the Lions. I live in like their media area. It's all they talk about for months is football, football, football. So, yeah, Hendon Hooker. I mean, Hendon Hooker I think he was a second round pick. Like that's a pretty good. I know when you're betting preseason, you're looking for like the backup quarterbacks and even who's the backup to that and like what the quality of quarterback is there. Like Hendon Hooker, when he was at Tennessee, he almost led them to like playoffs, national championship. Like he had a really good final year there, and then he was second round pick. Then he got hurt, kind of slid behind Jared Goff, but that's a solid backup quarterback for like the Hall of Fame game there. So that's what, like you said, and who's the quarterback on the other side? Wasn't Taylor Heineke?
Yeah, Taylor Heineke. Yeah, Taylor Heineke.
He started games.
Yeah, Trey Lance is going to be in this game too.
Oh wow, Trey Lance.
Yeah, and Kyle Allen. So I got the 32.5 just on. I don't know what the QB rotation is going to be. There hasn't been much out on it, but you just don't see that much high end talent in terms of quarterbacks, even 3 of the 4 or 3 in the 5.
Well, like Kyle Allen, those are all the guys who have started. Like they've all started NFL games on Sundays. So I mean, that's a lot. Like that's a good QB rotation. Yeah,
I think that's where I am. Winbush J, welcome. I appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. Let's go, Johnny. You're back tomorrow, correct? Or what's your schedule here?
I'll be back Friday. Friday.
Well, enjoy your 2 days off, pal. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate the dingers. Let's go.
All right. Good luck with your bets, everyone.
All right. I was going to take Olsen too. Music to my ears. Appreciate it. It's always nice when you just get that reinforcement from Metler in terms of home runs. Let's go with the card. I had some stuff that Derek had. That's gone. Obviously, I love the Boyle play. I was also on the Lodolo heavy. I really love the Lodolo under outs. But let's go. Boston first 5 money line -130 versus Minnesota. Kind of a weird one here. I like Boston on the money line, and so did the bat. They projected him as the best plus EV money line play of the day, 62% of the time. That's a win percentage, fair price around -168. But what scares me in that full game is the back end rotation. Boston using a lot of arms, kind of worried. They're decimated. Chapman dealing with a back injury. But on that same side, Lucas Giolito versus current pitcher to be determined. There's such an edge, I think, in this side. You can go Boston first 5 money line at -130, or I think you can go the run line -0.15 at plus money. There's a lot to like. And closer, Johan Duran, probably not going after pitching 2 days straight. There's a lot to like about Boston in that game. Brandon Fad, a player I absolutely love and think I know more than any other pitcher in baseball. Under 17.5 outs, even money. Yes, he can be efficient, but he's just not getting there. He's 8-2 to the under across in his last 10 games on the road. He's not as good. 5.94 ERA. It's hot and humid on the East Coast. Detroit has found its swing, and it projects for 16.17 outs on just 89 pitches. I think this is a buy to -120. Moving things over to a team debut, Atlanta, Eric Fetty, over 1.5 walks allowed. Even money, I think the buys to -115 here. Projects for 1.8 walks today, making a team debut for the Braves, who need him to eat some innings as that rotation has been absolutely decimated with injuries. He's averaging just 80 pitches over his last 10 starts, but has 22 walks in 44 innings. If Atlanta picks him up to eat some more innings, that leash could grow. Easy one. If it does, I like it even on the low pitch count. KC, as Johnny said, absolutely a scorcher, could affect command, could set some fatigue. Talked about the Nationals, talked about Soroka. Another shot here. First 5 money line, even money here. I think it's a buy to -110, -115. Really wanted to fade Jason Alexander, whose only good start for Houston has been his first game versus his former team, the A's, that he got up for. Faced him again in his last start. Absolutely banged up. He got banged up in that relief game versus the Dodgers. He'll probably be sent back down to AAA. If anybody in that rotation comes back. I think this is a good spot. Houston seems to be giving him a long leash, which we've seen with a lot of pitchers. I like this play better than his over 2.5 earned runs at minus 105. The Nationals team total first 5 was 1.5. If that was 2.5 plus money, I would prefer that if you can find it. But I think their first 5 money line, the push is in play. Mike Soroka, as Derek said early, taking the under 4.5 hits allowed, has been a great pitcher. 2 or fewer runs allowed in 4 of his last 5. If you're looking for the early game too, we got to wait to see what happens with George Springer. Took that ball in the head in a game maybe he shouldn't have been in. He did walk off, but we'll wait to see. It's a doubleheader. I would probably put it at 97% that he's not in the early game. We might see him in the late game, but I want to see what this lineup looks like. I think there could be a lot of hits. It worked for me on Sunday. I'll probably run this back again. I'm probably going to go whoever's hitting in the 2-hole, whoever's hitting the 3-hole for the Jays, stack those 2 over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and then do the same thing in the 4 and the 5-hole. We'll wait to see that lineup, but I think another great play in that game if you're looking for something. Charlie Morton. In 122-degree heat, yes, he might get the strikeouts, but that's going to increase his pitch count. Under 16.5 outs, plus over 2.5 earned runs, plus 140 on DraftKings. That is also in my Fetty isn't pitching in my account. I'm pretty sure he was. I think you're not looking at St. Louis. I think you got to look at Atlanta. Atlanta picked him up. Yes. Jeff Hicks. Yes, one that slid under the trade deadline acquisitions. Atlanta needed to pick up some arms because, like I said, their rotation has been dead. He's pitching for Atlanta today in Kansas City, not St. Louis. But that's what I got today. Back tomorrow. Joe will be here as well. And then we go Thursday. We got Gary Sheffield Jr. And then Friday, John's back. I'm here, and we got more releases from the bat. Big day today. Watch out for that heat. Drink some water. Josh Inglis covers his best bets Tuesday in the books. Let's have a day, gentlemen. Thanks, everybody here. Hit that like button. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go.